My friends and colleagues, yesterday was an emotionally wrenching day. As I watched the footage of the violence in the Capitol building, my own experience flooded back to me. I was one of the unlucky members who was stuck in the House gallery along with Congresswoman Dean. As the House floor was cleared beneath us of members and staff, we could see the mob pounding on the door to the House chamber. We could see the Capitol police officers inside the chamber pull their guns and point them at the intruders. Then we heard gunshots on the other side, and we flung ourselves down on the floor and removed our member pins. Then we heard pounding on the very flimsy gallery doors right up above us. Finally, after that situation for some time, we were told to run out of a door at the end of the gallery. As we ran through a line of police towards a staircase, this is what I saw. The SWAT team pointing automatic weapons at marauders on the floor. Looking at these people makes you wonder, who sent them here? In the next few minutes, I want to step back from the horrors of the attack itself and look at January 6th from a totally different perspective, the perspective of the insurrectionists themselves. Their own statements before, during, and after the attack make clear the attack was done for Donald Trump, at his instructions, and to fulfill his wishes. Donald Trump had sent them there. They truly believed that the whole intrusion was at the president's orders, and we know that because they said so. Many of them actually posed for pictures, bragging about it on social media, and they tagged Mr. Trump in tweets. Folks, this was not a hidden crime. The president told them to be there, and so they actually believed they would face no punishment. The defense argued in their briefs, and they argued again here on Tuesday, that the insurrectionists were acting on their own, that they were not incited by President Trump or acting in his direction. This is in their brief, quote, "They did so of their own accord and for their own reasons and are being criminally prosecuted." But that's just not the case. It's not what the insurrectionists actually said. They said they came here because the president instructed them to do so. Leading up to the attack, the insurrectionists said they were coming to D.C. for President Trump. He invited them with clear instructions for a specific time and place and with clear orders. Stop the fight, or to fight to stop the certification in Congress by any means necessary. The crowd at Donald Trump's speech echoed and chanted his words. And when people in the crowd followed his direction and marched to the Capitol, they chanted the same words as they breached this building. Now let's return to this speech for a moment. During the rally, President Trump led the crowd in a Stop the Steal chant. Here's what that chant sounded like from the crowd's perspective.
There's a great term that all of you people really came up with. We will stop the steal. Yeah! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
Soon after, the president basked as the crowd chanted, "Fight for Trump." And when he incited the crowd to show strength, people responded. Storm the Capitol, invade the Capitol. Here are both of those moments, but from the crowd's perspective.
Thank you. Take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength.
Yes.
Invade the Capitol building.
We also have another perspective from this moment online extremist chatter. At the same time as the people in the crowd shouted, "Take the Capitol building," as President Trump said, "Show strength," a person posted to Parler saying, quote, "Time to fight, civil war is upon us." Another user said, quote, "We are going to have a civil war, get ready." An analysis found that members of Civil War quadrupled on Parler in the hour after Donald Trump said, "Show strength." When the insurrectionists got to the Capitol, they continued those rally cries. Insurrectionists holding Confederate flags and brandishing weapons cheered the president's very words. You heard them chanting, "Stop the steal." And as the crowd chanted at the rally, the crowd at the Capitol made clear who they were doing this for. They also chanted, "Fight for Trump." And it wasn't just that they were doing this for Mr. Trump, they were following his instructions. They said he had invited them, and in fact, as we heard, he had invited them. As one man explained on a live stream he taped from inside the Capitol, quote, "Our president wants us here. We wait and take orders from our president." Footage from inside the Capitol shows when the insurrectionists first got into the building and confronted police, the mob screamed at the officers that they were listening to President Trump. The insurrectionists argued with law enforcement that they shouldn't even be fighting them because they believed that the commander-in-chief was ordering this. This was the person's understanding. When President-elect Biden went on television that day to demand an end to the siege, one woman asked this.
Does he not realize President Trump called us to siege the place?
The examples of these types of comments are endless. Don't worry, I won't play all of them. But it wasn't just the words of the insurrectionists that proved that they did this in response to orders from their commander-in-chief. We can see this in the fact that they were not hiding.